First time at the World Darts Championship in his second attempt, but he has Callan Rydz in his way, the person who is averaging more in this tournament than anybody, and he still has not lost a set in 10 sets played. But let's reflect on the last game. I was sitting with Mark Wilson for that one, had a bit of a sweat on for that one. Kevin Dutz's final charge of 2024 is over, and he will not take part on New Year's Day. But Chris Dobey will be there for the third consecutive year and a chance at redemption after losing to Cross on January 1st, 2024. He'll have Gezi Price in his way. We'll find out in due course over the next day or two where that game will be. Will it be afternoon or evening? We'll keep you up to date with that on talkSPORT 2 and on our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Thank you for liking and subscribing on that. Thank you for your company. But Chris Mason's with us now for the Rydz Owen game. Let's just get your reflection on that previous one, because it was a bit mystifying.
It was a thriller, wasn't it? It was sort of watching it backstage, and Dobey's someone I'd like to see do well. I'd love the style of his game when he's absolutely on it. But again, there was a perfect example of what great players do. They find a way. He didn't capitulate. He didn't get too down on himself, despite not being able to shake Dutz off. I mean, he had 22 more darts at a double. It was 17-12 in legs. It was fairly dominant, yet he just couldn't put him away. He only had 21 troubleless visits, 41 for Dutz. This should have been 4-0, 4-1, and as one-sided as it could be.
Is it fair to say that that's one of the worst 91 averages you'll ever see?
Yeah, but one of the best wins, because ultimately he had to dig deep, didn't he? And credit to Dutz, he made it so well. You can see now why he has made it this far, because that was a top performance and something he should be extremely proud of, and I expect him to kick on.
Nobody wins a World Championship by dominating every game, unless your name's Philip Douglas Taylor, maybe. But if you're going to make your way through to a third consecutive quarter-final, you're going to have to win different ways.
Yeah.
You'd rather win like that than lose playing amazingly, right?
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do sometimes. It's just about finding a way. Listen, they all want to go up there and do what Callan Rydz has done, but in between that 107 and 105, he had to find a different way to win, didn't he?
Yeah, so it's now down to Callan, who will grace the Oki very, very soon. He has been stunning over the last few matches. But this game, with all due respect to Callan, it might be all about Robert Owen. It was last night for him when he was playing against Ricky Evans, but it's not the same sort of task. It's about how he fares and how he feels.
Yeah, and that is very much dart players to a T, isn't it? You know, it's like some days you can not be feeling it and go up there and you can feel like lemonade and play like champagne, you know. And the opposite is true as well. You can be in that practice room and be absolutely smashing them in off the lampshade. You walk on that stage and it's like you're playing a different sport.
The way we've approached it this morning, talking at length about this fixture, is that Robert Owen has to come down a bit, but there is a possibility that he might ride the wave.
Yeah, listen, he could. Right now he could just go up there on autopilot, because he played superb against Clemens. Personally, I think that's the best I've ever seen him play on TV. He averaged 99 in a 3-1 win. Either side of that, a 91 and a 93, which sort of where his seasonal numbers are. But like you say, he could literally just go up there and go, do you know what? I'm free rolling, baby. Let's have some fun.
He already looks at the top of the walk-on like someone who has got a lot less cares in the world than yesterday. But if he can have the same focus, the same enjoyment, and if I may say so very early, the same crowd engagement or the lack of, he has a chance to win this match, but he will have to lift his levels based on what we've seen from Rydz. He has been out of this world. Yeah,
listen, Owen's going to have to play to the level he played at when he defeated Gabriel Clemens, because they're the kind of numbers that, well, in terms of a tournament average, in fact, Rydz is higher than that. He's averaging over 100, so I I can't see a reason why Rydz won't go up there today and play somewhere in between the averages, maybe average around 100 in this one. He's certainly not even gone anywhere near empty in the tank, although the level of play and performance has been top-notch. No one's given him an examination.
And here comes your second lad from Bedlington of the day.
But I'm pretty sure that those numbers were achieved in the years that the other three did lift that magnificent Sid Waddell trophy.
And Phil Taylor, of course, the only person on that list who has lifted more than the Sid Waddell trophy. He hoisted many a different PDC World Championship trophy.
Yeah, many a different looking ones as well. Going all the way back, of course, to when he won the Embassy. And then it all started post Lakeside at the Tavern, where he was, well, a ridiculously dominant force for the best part of, what was it, 13 years, 14 years?
Yeah, Phil won his first PDC World Championship in 1995. He would win every one up until 2003, where he was defeated by John Part. Then he would get back on the horse in 2004, beating Kevin Painter.
41.
But we're underway in this match on talkSPORT 2. Robert Owen starting with a visit of 41. Thing is, you can't really start slowly against Callan, because he'll just get back on it from the off. First 140, Bob's your uncle.
Well, last time out, it was just every time I looked at the board, he seemed to be hitting a max, or the first two were in there. Dimitri was just, well, flummoxed, as I was when Peter Wright beat Luke Humphries last
43.
night.
There is an argument to say that that performance yesterday from Callan was the best of his career, even though it wasn't his biggest average.
Yeah,
140.
agreed. Who it was against.
Just the dominance. Every set was slightly different, and he had all the answers.
It was very, yeah, it was on par with Peter Wright last night. It was a very reactive performance. When he needed to turn the screw, he had all the answers.
And Callan's on 221 here after 9, looking to leave a finish, which he will.
100.
Ton leaves 1-2-1 after 12, a nice steady start, but Owen's on a finish as well. Slightly adrift on 160, and the small one doesn't help him. Using purple flights as usual, with a white stem and a very uncomplicated barrel.
Yeah, they haven't been changed from last night either. They're the same. Single 20, misses treble 17, gets the treble. So 24 left for Rydz, 120 for Robert Owen. That's not too bad. It's under the 60s. The stack attack man, and he gets it. And the tops.
Oh, there's a little bit of a reaction in that first leg. Now the pressure's off when it comes to his tour privileges. Maybe he's going to open his shoulders a little bit.
Quite possibly.
95.
Like I say, it's all about levels, and ultimately, listen, we know an 85 can beat a 95, but that very much is in a short course race.
Correct.
60.
7 years ago, when Robert Owen was making the UK Open semi-finals, he said en route to that last four match that I want to be the best player in Wales. At the time, where Johnny Clayton was coming through, when Jamie Lewis was making the semi-final of the World Championship, Mark Webster was still around.
100.
Gezi Price had just started winning Grand Slams, and you think, well, that's a bit of a statement. He still believes it. He believes he can win this tournament.
55.
If he went on to become world champion, it would be one of, if not the biggest shocks ever, because he wasn't even in the tournament at the draw.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about shocks, and then
60.
you can, well, I remember when Priestley won it, they thought it was a shock.
Ah, there you go. First 180 from Rydz.
Taylor was relatively big odds.
Yeah, but in 2001, when John Walton won Lakeside, people thought it was an upset. We knew what was going to happen. Do we know what happens here with 72 for Rydz on tops? Yeah, he made that look easy. That was such a lackadaisical 15 darter for 1-1 in the first set.
Yeah, and this is the change in Callan. I was speaking to his manager at length, and have been for a while, and It was all about installing, I'm not sure the belief's the right word, but just a carefree attitude.
139.
And I spoke about before, Michael Smith and Callan Rydz are very similar. They've got that throw that is just totally impact when there's any kind of effort.
100.
I remember a game that Callan played in Gibraltar about 3.5 years ago. He beat Peter Wright in a best of 11 match. He was 6 out of 6 on doubles and averaged 110. And in that performance, I noticed it's all about the release point for him. Because with this rhythm where he draws the dart up to address,
41.
doesn't stop and releases it in one fluid motion, if he's just a little bit late, he's not going to play well. But if that release point is just before horizontal, when it's coming
85.
forward, he can do anything. And it looks on point in this tournament.
Yeah. And again, that'll be down to hours and hours and hours of perfecting
100.
and making sure everything feels automatic.
If he was a footballer, and I'm going to pay him a compliment here,
60.
I'd say he's Paul
Robbie
Gascoigne, because he's all natural
160.
and he's got flair. And he's wearing black and white today. Owen, for the second time in this first set, has left 160.
100.
This time he has not left 120, he has 60. Something easier if Rydz doesn't take 122 for a break of throw. Small 18 start, doesn't get the treble, so Owen will get a look
90.
at 60.
Robert, you require
And he knows
60.
he's got to hit it because Rydz has left 32. 1-1, set 1. Single 20 found. Nothing in the way.
Game
Well,
shot on the
finds the
fairway.
corner. As long as it's in the double.
Full thing, it's Callan to throw first. Game on.
You think about that game last night for Rob against Ricky Evans. He needed some clinical shots
81.
when they really mattered. And if there was one double that cooperated more than anything else last night, it was double top. He hit it as a standalone shot. He hit it on 2 darters. He hit it on 3 dart combinations.
60.
He's got a real love affair with tops right now, and he's keeping it going at 2-1 up in the first set.
Yet to miss a double here in the match. Well, neither is Rydz, in fairness.
80.
Rydz with 80, down to 3 throw this set. Owen leads 2-1 in set 1. 2 treble 20s. Is he going to hit his first max? Sure is.
180.
Perish the thought that Rydz might lose a set.
Yeah, not yet to drop one.
96.
He's not Stephen Bunting in the World Masters about 10 years ago. He went through the entire tournament winning the thing without losing a set, and those sets were only best of 3 legs.
Yeah, that's a
121.
remarkable stat.
Owen on 140 to win the set. He's going to have company in the finishing zone, but Rydz only leaves 144.
140.
Advantage stack attack. Who hits a 60 on a 140 checkout. He'll be leaving tops again.
100.
Set
Callan
point
require
Owen
144.
if Rydz doesn't find the biggest finish of the match by some distance. 144. It's on. Not for long.
120.
Throws the last dart away in disgust, but it does hit treble 20 to leave 19.
Robert, you require 40.
So this is a chance for Rob Owen to win the first set of the tournament against Callan Rydz. Just high on tops, just low. How's his double 10?
Game shot.
And there you go. Rob Owen is not just in this tournament to save his professional status. He wants to go further. He's 1-0 up on Callan Rydz. Set 2 is coming up on talkSPORT 2 after this.
2 minutes here, guys.
Okay, mate.
Here goes my Rydz 4-0 bet anyway.
To coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship with Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com. So now we go into set 2 in this match, the second of the afternoon, with Callan Rydz facing a deficit for the first time in the tournament. Indeed, he's now lost a set for the first time in the championship. How does he respond? Well, in the first game of the day, Chris Mason, Chris Dobey lost the first set and was able to respond after that, but I'm sure that Rydz would like to do things a little less scratchy than his pal from Bedlington.
Yeah, a little less dramatic. 96-45 in the set. Robert Owen, 90.15, winning that set 3-1. And I've seen plenty of county games and Super League games when they were back in the day when they were best of 5, where a 30 beat a 32 purely because it was on throw. I can assure you, if that average stays the same in set 2, Callan Rydz wins it 3-1. Maybe even 3-0.
Well, what we've seen already today is a little bit of history for Chris Dobey, making a 3rd consecutive quarter-final at Alexandra Palace. Just to rattle off a few names here, to give you some indication as to how difficult it is to make the final 8 here 3 times in a row. These are the people who have done it. Phil Taylor, James Wade, Raymond van Barneveld, Adrian Lewis. And you think, okay, no problem there. Simon Whitlock, Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Gary Anderson, Gerwen Price, and Chris Dobey. That's the complete list, and it just so happens that Price and Dobey will meet each other on New Year's Day.
58.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be over an extended format as well, isn't it? Best of 9.
Proper darts, best of 9 sets.
Yeah.
100.
In set format, that's the equivalent of playing best of 31 legs.
Yes.
Or more, because it could be more.
Yeah, well, if it goes all the way, of course.
87.
And potentially there you've got...
Chris is just doing his calculations here. While he's doing that, Michael van Gerwen or Jeffrey de Graaf await the winner of this one. And this is in the 4th quarter at the bottom of the draw, which saw
60.
Gary Anderson dumped out.
51 legs possibility.
Now that you've said that, we're going to get a 50-leg match, aren't we?
Yeah, my brain's not working.
60.
It's called, well, sleep deprivation.
We don't get darts deprivation at this time.
No.
Yeah, we've got plenty for you.
140.
Just keep it talkSPORT 2 for everything you could possibly need.
Yeah, and look out on our main talkSPORT YouTube channel. We recorded series or episode 3 of our World Championship series.
We've had an Ali Pali Wasp sighting. Rydz leaves double 8, and he is very much unaware that the Wasp is living in his hair. Get rid of that hairspray, Mr. Rydz, otherwise you've got somebody who was trying to watch for free. Double 8. In fact, don't listen to us, Callan. Leave the Wasp on your noggin, because you've just taken the lead in set 2. This is fascinating stuff.
Whose shoulder was it on last year? Was it Humphries?
Well, I remember 2 years ago when the Ali Pali Wasp was sitting on Dave Cameron's shirt.
That's right. That's it.
And Richie Eddowes won the first 2 sets. And Dave Cameron had the Wasp fly into his shirt, and he won the next 3 sets. So maybe the Wasp is lucky.
That's exactly the point I was trying to make. 2 treble 20s from Robert Owen.
140.
Back-to-back 140s for him. He's raising his game, as is Callan Rydz.
Those pesky Wasps never pay for tickets.
60.
Oh, here every year. Having a free ride around the stage as well.
All right. What we need for our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel is Wasp Cam. Somebody get us one. Oh, Rydz is on 301 here, looking to bring it down to 121, which he does, which equalises Owen's position. Who's going to take the 1-2-1? It could be Rob. Doesn't need a stack, he needs an 11. And a bullseye for 1-1.
96.
Now does Rydz get that shot himself for 2-0?
With the help of the Wasp, maybe. 11 and ball.
Bullseye it is.
96.
He's on the 25 as well, just like Rob was.
25.
Missed that because the Wasp has flown away. Double 8 for Rob Owen. Right in the middle. It's 1-1 in the second set, and the Welshman leads by 1 set to love.
The Welshman has raised his average to 94, and there's still that gap because Callan Rydz is averaging 99.10, but it is 1-1 in legs.
At this stage of the tournament, we can say, because we've been to this stage, Mason and I, you've got to have patience. If you go into first to 4 sets, you're going to see many different types of sets. Got to have patience.
Yeah, and again, this is the worry for me with Rydz, is he will go through them spells, but it's just not going his way. He's got to ride them spells out and just go, right, it is what it is.
Or as they say up north in his neck of the woods, Gan Canny.
Gannon.
Last night, Rob Owen on the stage was saying,
60.
I'm going nowhere, I'm staying here. He was right. He's still here. I wonder if he's going to be here for another couple of days at least. It's going to be no darts tomorrow.
140.
So you're going to have to supplement your day off from the darts with our podcast, Aces and Arrows, which Mace has already mentioned. You can get that on our YouTube channel.
That will be.
Callan, you require 76.
Well, it's being uploaded as we speak, I should imagine.
Well, Rydz on 76 needs tops for a 2-1 lead in the second.
56.
And that was one of the worst darts he's thrown in this
78.
match. Could get punished for it as well.
Treble 18 is found. Double 12, 2 in hand. Clips the wire, you can hear it. And that one clips the wire. Yeah, he gives it a second look. He can't believe it's not in.
20.
Should imagine Rydz is grateful.
Double 5 for Callan. The secondary double is his on this occasion. He finds his way to 2-1 up. It's not vintage Rydz, but like we've already said, he's going to have to win different ways. Just remain patient.
96.
Don't get negative. Just do your job, as Roy Keane would say.
Yeah, because it will come if he allows himself
140.
to just throw naturally and normally. It will work. It has worked, and it will work in the future.
Now there is a possibility, if Rydz wins this match, that there could be a Rydz-Dobie semi-final because of the way the draw bracket has worked out.
That would be incredible.
That would be unbelievable because they live 5 minutes walk from each other.
123.
I would be astounded if there'd ever been a World Championship match where 2 people live closer than that.
60. Robert Urikai, 142.
I certainly can't think of one. Oh, treble 3, recovers with a treble 20, 66 scored, 76 left for Robert Owen. Rydz waiting on 161.
Just checking with our referee, Charlie Corstafine.
126.
Done well there. From 142, he's left 16. Rydz 161 for a thunderbolt. 60, 51. Ball for the set. Right on line, but short in the small 3.
Yeah, just the timing. That timing you were explaining was evident there. And that's a 13-dart hold. So Rydz has the darts. Can he convert and level things up at 1 set apiece?
You get the feeling for his positive mindset, he needs this set in the bank just to get back on the positive horse. But Robert Owen is proving to be a very tough rock to move. He's 40% on his doubles in the tournament, but he's raising his levels in this game. He's up to 50%, which is 5 out of 10 attempts.
Yeah, Rydz is starting to get erratic.
And that is something that Owen can expose. He looks very comfortable. And even more so there with his second max of the game.
Well, he did contemplate how he would be mentally. Well, that's the answer, because Robert Owen is absolutely flying.
Yes, he is. He's favourite for this leg. What does he leave from 181? 81 is the answer, but 144 for Rydz. This is monstrous. 60 hit, needs another for double 12. He's missed 2 set darts at massive checkouts of 161 and 144, and he could be cataclysmically punished if Robert Owen gets 62 more with 2 darts. He needs the bullseye to stack attack. And he hits it to win the 2nd set in a row. Biggest celebration of the championship for him. And now Rydz has got to come back after the 2nd set break and try and equalise. Who saw this coming? Not many people, but you can never back against stack attack because he's still got a lot to offer this sport. He wasn't even in the tournament, but now he's 2 sets away from the quarterfinals. Unbelievable stuff on talkSPORT 2, and the next 2 sets will follow after this. Welcome back. We have a 2-set deficit for Callan Rydz. 10 sets in a row won in this tournament over multiple matches, and now he's lost 2 in a row. That last set from Robert Owen was spectacular. Averaged over 108 in that one, and his overall doubling is 55%, 6 from 11, including that 81 on the bullseye with his last 3 darts of set 2. So, like a famous archaeologist once said when he was getting his brush and spade out, what do we have here? This is very interesting indeed. What does Rydz have to do, considering he's averaging 101 here, Mace? What has he got to do to get back into this one?
Well, it gives me feelings of last night, Peter Wright against Luke Humphries. He averaged 96.45 in set 1 and won 1 leg. He's averaged 105.26 in that one and won 2 legs. He had 1 dart at the ball off 161 for the set, 1 dart at 24 on the back of 144 to win the set in leg 5. And he's 2 sets nil down. Credit is due to Robert Owen. He averaged 108.04. His winning legs, Nico, 14, 13, 12.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Well, we're just getting a bit of an insight into what could happen in the next match, by the way. The entrance of Ricardo Pietreczko has just been beamed to the fans, greeted by boos, and then just as soon as that is ended, they show Nathan Aspinall walking in with his family, and the atmosphere changes, just like the atmosphere in this game has changed. And I wonder if, seeing that, the English fans might start to get on Owen's back and try to get Rydz back into this game.
I agree. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
Roberts to throw first. Game on.
Give them something to shout about, Callan, because if you want them on your side, doubles will get them off their chairs. Now, Shane Burgess once famously said when you were playing Phil Taylor. You do get chances against the power. Things like 161, 167. And Rydz has started with a 180 in set 3, so that's buoyant. But, like you mentioned, Rydz missed 161 on the bull. He missed 144 on double 12, so he did have chances, just didn't take them.
And they were for 15 and 12 dart legs. What he's got to do is just keep doing what he's doing, and eventually it will pay dividends. Listen, we know where the Robert Owen ceiling is. We've seen it many times, and it's nowhere near as high as Callan Rydz's.
No, it's not. He's been very close to 120 multiple times as Callan. He's explosive, and he needs to be over the next 6 to 8 legs. If he can win 3-1, 3-1 in quick time, he can turn this around in about 10 minutes.
Exactly about to say that. You know, in 10 minutes time, it could be 2 sets apiece.
Game shown the first leg.
Well, that's one way of doing it. Double 16, 8, double 4 for a 12 dart. Break of throw of his own, and now that's it really, because he has the throw in the next set. We effectively could be back at 2-2. Sadly, darts doesn't work that way.
He has a nickname, the Riot, because at times he does run riot on the dartboard, and he has had a few injuries over the years, predominantly from doing things with a BMX, which he has been very good at in his life.
Yeah, when he was young, I mean, he's still a young man now, but when he was sort of like a kid, he was singled out to be a bit special. And he's certainly special. Here's our foul.
He's in command of this second leg. Not a brilliant scoring performance so far, but we haven't had that from Owen either. Just got to stay ahead, but that's treble-less from Callan. 326 after 9. Could find himself in trouble in a couple of visits time if he doesn't start getting it together.
Yeah, he had 16 troubleless visits across 2 matches, or 2 or 3? 3 matches. He's already at 11 in this one game.
And there's another.
Yeah.
269 for Rydz.
You think he's thinking about the moment of getting into the quarters? You reckon this is a combination of that and maybe the surprise at how well Robert Owen's playing?
I don't think he should be surprised how well Robert's playing, because he's done stuff like this in this tournament, showing great spirit and great heart. 142 for Robert Owen, needs double 14 at the end, and that is a brilliant finish. No matter what he touches, it turns to gold. Second ton plus finish of this match, and the confidence that's being exuded from the Welshman, you can almost touch it.
He is absolutely loving every second of this, isn't he? I suppose it's the... Well, it may, if Rydz can drag him into or get him almost into a real dogfight, then the tiredness might show.
I'm only going to say this once today, because I might need to use it again on January the 1st. 2018 championship won by Rob Cross. We had a semi-finalist that year from Wales by the name of Jamie Lewis. He wasn't in the tournament until the last chance qualifier, where he came through it. He ended up beating Peter Wright in that championship, as well as Darren Webster and some other players. He made the final 4. He was the last win of Phil Taylor's illustrious career at a World Championship. Is there any reason why Robert Owen can't do the same? At this point in time, you've got to say absolutely not. He's got 220 here in leg 3 of the 3rd set, and Rydz is on 126. And judging by the way that Owen's finishing, he might have to hit it, even with Owen on 160.
Yeah, for sure. Treble 19's found, singles found, wants the ball. It's been round that ball like a second hand on a clock.
160.
Here we go, 160 for a 2-1 lead, and he's got the first treble 20. And the second, finishing like a maestro. But Tops has missed too high this time. You can breathe now, Callan. This 25 is big, it's to break Owen's heart. 17 for double 4. The double 4 is perfect. It's 2-1 Rydz in set number 3 on talkSPORT 2. And he looks to the ceiling right here. He's a very family-orientated person. His granddad, Blake, is Bedlington darts royalty. His gran, who he dearly misses, is in the great Ali Pali upstairs. But there's not one day goes by that he doesn't think about. And that's what he was thinking about when he was looking at the ceiling just now.
Yeah, a bit of divine inspiration. Seems to be back into that rhythm again now. Looking more and more comfortable. Down to 230. He is 2-0 down, Callan Rydz, but 2-1 up in set 3.
100.
A ton from Owen takes him down to 3-4-1. 230 for Rydz.
Well, this is what's good about this format. If you go 2-0 down and you recover in set 3, you can stay on the stage
41.
and punish your opponent and get level. That's what we've got on our hands here if Rydz wins this leg. Crowd shouting Michael van Gerwen, the possible next opponent of the winner of this one. But I'm sure Jeffrey de Graaf will have something to say about that later when we're live on talkSPORT 2 with tonight's session from 7 o'clock.
Just when Rydz didn't want to come up dry, he's come up dry. 132 Rydz, 201, but Owen's bringing it down, and how.
61 left for the Welshman. Rydz had a chance to win the last set twice on ton plus. Checkouts, this is a 132. Doesn't get the second bullseye, but does lead tops. But you know for a fact that Owen's going to hit this 61 to make it 2-2. It's what he does in this. Can he find double 18 with dart 3? Of course, of course. It's exceptional on the outer ring. Dare I say, it is very Ryan Joyce-like.
It is exceptional, this. Just when you think, right, Rydz is going to get back into it, Owen does that.
And if Owen wins this leg and this set, he will have a vice-like grip on this last 16 match. People don't win from 3-0 down in sets very often. But Rydz refuses to relent. He's still averaging nearly 101 and hasn't won a set yet. It's 42% on doubles. He's not bad. He's just been punished.
Timing, isn't it? It's all about timing. And you're looking at Owen's numbers. He's averaging close to a ton himself.
Great game, full of quality. And you mentioned timing. Callan Rydz is not wearing a watch today. I think that's got something to do with the fact that in previous times when he's lost his temper, he's punched his watch off his wrist.
Yeah, I remember that.
Great use of the bullseye with the last dart to leave himself on 145. But Owen with the darts in the last leg of this set has got 140 and a treble 20. Make that 2. Double 10. Misses a set dart at double 10. Can Rydz find a miraculous 145 to get set 3? Starts with a single 19, so the shot is off. And Owen's got a tricky looking double 5 to be 3-0 up in sets in this last 16 match.
I don't think he's finding anything tricky.
How's his dart 2? The first one's high, second one's low, and the first time the crowd get involved, he misses. They're on your side, Callan. Can you use the 4th dart to use the 3 in your hand to get 1 set behind? 6 and tops makes it 2 sets to 1. And critically, that is Rydz breaking the throw in set 3.
Well, there wasn't a hold of throw. 5 consecutive breaks of throw in that set. Rydz averaged 99.99. Call the police.
Who gets it tougher nationwide when it comes to Ali Pali? Because England get their supporters. Off the top of my head, I'm going to have to say it's Wales and Scotland.
Yeah, for sure. They get some fierce abuse. Unwarranted, but it's that
54.
Football mob mentality, isn't it? One person does something and they think it's cool and they all join in.
Well, what we've seen over the last couple of sets is what we expect from a championship like this. Full drama, 2 set darts missed by Rydz in set 2 at massive finishes, and then Owen misses set dart and Rydz pounces on what is a very, very good 46 checkout in 2. Now we go into set 4, and this game has got the same sort of feel, albeit with more quality than the last one, but the dynamic of the game is almost the same.
Yeah, both missed set darts in different sets.
21 with the first 2 darts here for Owen. And he's starting to lag a little bit as Rydz starts to find a nice spot. 112 with a 60 hit. Goes to 12, gets that, tops. And there we go, consecutive tops for Callan Rydz. And now, this crowd might as well be a bunch of Geordies.
Well, in this match,
121.
now had 6 consecutive breaks of throw.
It's a really good job he's got the right amount of syllables in his name. Same as Chris Dobie and Ryan Joyce, because they can get that chant. Just imagine if you were Greek dart player Yannis Selashoglu.
100.
You couldn't put that in that chant, could you?
That wouldn't quite work the same.
81.
Seem to have calmed down just a little bit, and this is something that Owen has to use. He's got to use these placid moments to make hay. I'd like to say, well, the sun is shining, but the sun doesn't shine this time of year in this country.
While they're quiet, well, they've been stunned into silence.
96.
We do get an opportunity just to get some laser-like focus in.
Feels like a bit of a breather from the drama, but trust me, it won't last long.
60.
60 from Owen, leaves 135. Rydz on 228. Small 20, has to go for cover on the 19s, gets plenty. Gets 6.
And to a finish of 94, 135 for Owen. Can't do it, single 20, nods. Single 20, 95 left. Single 19, so Callan Rydz will feel confident about this 94.
Especially considering he's won the last 2 legs, clinically. It's another top shot after 54, so he's missed it this time though. Double 10 is missed left. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
Yeah, when he was winning to 0, those shots were going in. He wasn't giving his opponent a second chance. Owen's got one here, double 4. Wow.
Things have turned. Callan Rydz 1-0 up in set 4 on double 5 and hits it immediately. 2-0 Rydz. One more leg in this set and we will go to 2-all for the second consecutive time today. Strap yourselves in. Today's going to be long, full of drama, and exactly what you expect from the award-winning darts on the radio.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't a break of throw then. It's the start of leg 1. It was a 15-dart hole because that was a 16-dart break. Leads 2-0 in the 4th. Trails 2 sets to 1.
He got a little smile there when they caught him singing his name. They don't do that down the Clayton, do they, Callan? By the way, the Clayton is a pub in Bedlington that he talks to us about a lot. It's been there a long time, and it's a miracle it's still there. But he is very passionate about where he's from, as is Chris Dobie. But he wants to be in London at New Year, not Bedlington, and shots like that will help.
Well, it is interesting that just recently when I was in Newcastle, the feel-good factor from the people about their sport, as in football doing well, it radiates throughout the town. And but you feel that with the 3 Geordie lads in the dart tournament here. Almost, that's their mentality.
He has never had fans chanting his name like this before. And he's on 32 to win set 4 by 3 legs to 0. Is the Callan Rydz train just speeding up? 2 darts missed outside, but the 3rd dart is there, and all of a sudden Callan Rydz is kissing to the crowd. At 2 sets to 0 down, he was in trouble and he needed a little bit of help, and he got it from his friends at Alexandra Palace. Robert Owen leaves the stage right now with a smile on his face. He could have won set 3, but he was not winning set 4. It was dominated by Rydz, who was averaging 100 with 5 maximums and 45% on the doubles. It's a fascinating game that will have its climax next on talkSPORT 2. Welcome back, everybody. If you're tuning in to see if Robert Owen is already into the next round, think again. He was 2-0 up and doing wonderful things. But the riot is back in the match at 2-all. With the aid of the crowd, because they did get involved at the end of set 3, he then bolstered his chances of a second quarter-final at Ali Pali by winning the 4th set by 3 legs to zip. So, Rydz is averaging 100.24, Owen 94.38, which is very similar to his tournament numbers. A little bit ahead of what he's been doing this season as well, which you tend to do when the adrenaline is pumping. But back in 2022, Rydz made the quarterfinals in an excellent campaign for him at the time. All the potential in the world, Chris Mason. He eventually lost to the champion, Peter Wright, who was sublime in that event. And Rydz got the closest to him. If he gets through this one, he will take on either MVG or De Graaf. More than likely MVG, but he would love a crack at Michael under this roof on New Year's Day. That's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, especially the way he's playing, and that's the key thing. Set 1, 96.45. To put that in some kind of perspective, that's pretty much where Michael is in terms of tournament average. He then upped it to 105.26, got back in the match with a 99.99 and consolidated that with a 3 legs to nil win in set 4 with a 98.02, and he's making that look, well, like a piece of cake. A nice piece of walnut and carrot cake.
I'm not really sure what kind of cake he'd be into, as long as it's got black and white icing over the top for decoration, because he's about as Northumberland as you get. He is very proud of where he's from. He's been playing since he was a child. I remember when he came onto the scene, he was playing the likes of Martin Schindler and Luke Humphries at World Youth Championships, and he was asking for advice from everybody, saying, how do I get better? And he started hanging around with Chris Dobie and found his way to the tour after plenty of tries. It didn't come automatically for Rydz, and I think that was a good thing for him. But now that he is perceived as an elite player, he's not even in the top 32 in the world, but he's one of the best players in the world when he's on this kind of form.
Yeah, well, we had a statement from Ricky Evans, who said there's not 16 better players than me in the world. Well, I found that almost laughable, but If Callan Rydz said it to me as a player outside the top 32, I'd sort of go, well, in fairness, Cal, you got a point.
60.
You're talking about terms of talent.
Without being unfair to Ricky, because I've had my say about that debate over the last few days, Callan Rydz has got 3 PDC titles.
57.
Ricky hasn't. He hasn't got any.
But I've never heard Cal come out with anything like that. I mean, I've had many a conversation where I've said, mate, it's just all between the ears. You've got to sort that out.
If he said that, he'd go back to Bedlington and people would say, wind your neck in, lad.
Yeah, behave.
Yeah, I can imagine Vera walking up to him and saying, excuse me, this is Vera Stanhope.
128.
I've been sent to pay you a message saying, stay grounded. 136 for Rydz after 9. A good start to set number 5. Good 140
reply.
there from Owen. Brilliant 140.
Yeah, down to 101 himself on his throw. Not had a big finish yet from Cal.
96.
We had a 142 from Owen. That's the highest so far.
I don't hear any crowd noise on this 101 for Robert. He's on double 16. One solitary boo, that's all there was.
Imagine being that person.
40.
I mean, like, what an absolute weapon.
Double 5, last start for Rydz. He's
15
ahead.
dart breaker throw.
Second leg is Callan's
Interestingly
first.
enough, in the break,
Game on.
when we were taking a breather after set 4, which I think everybody deserved, they were showing in the auditorium
100.
a lead up with the fans in the fans village, who was on the side of the Asp, who was on the side of Pikachu, and this
60.
place is going to be tribal for the next match. You do not want to miss it. Whatever you're doing for the next couple of hours, get that talkSPORT app
75.
downloaded. Make sure you can listen to darts on the radio for England versus Germany here this afternoon, because that atmosphere, it's going to be visceral.
60.
Yeah, I'm seriously looking forward to that contest. I'll be in comms with Mark Wilson while you take a well-needed rest, Nico.
Ahead of tonight's session.
Yeah, we're going to need to get some rest in for that, because, well, today's been brilliant already. Tonight, it's going to be electric. Treble 20, followed a treble 20, and another.
180.
Owen's looking to bounce back. This is the first time in the entire match that 1, Owen's been behind, 2, Rydz has been in front, but the 180 is answered with a 180.
Amazing. And what has Owen got in response? It's going to be good. 201 shrinks by 140.
140.
If Rydz takes 88, his confidence hasn't been higher in the match. Big 20, needs an 18, gets it. Bull.
63.
Central, but not central enough.
Yeah, he's just going around it. Every attempt's in the 25. It's been at the bottom right, top right. The only place it hasn't been is in the middle. That's not in the middle of double 9. No damage done for Callan Rydz. If he can find double 4.
17 hit and double 4 again. That's working really well for him in this match.
Yeah, and he's latched onto that. He knows that's been the route. A little bit of confusion. Robert Owen not sure if he has the throw. He does. The match is now approaching 31 minutes of actual hockey time. So when they're not on the hockey, that clock stops.
You think about the amount of problems that
60.
Robert Owen has had, both on and off the hockey recently. Family bereavement. He's had a really serious knee injury as well over the last few years, which...
Well, for years, all I ever seen him in was in that clunky brace, which was impacting his ability just to throw, never mind practice.
180.
Well, now Rydz is showing a bit of spirit towards the fans, almost thanking them for their help.
Something about hair and not caring, that's the song, I think, and he finds it quite funny.
I think if we start bringing up Callan's hair, we might be going in the wrong direction.
So to put a description on it, it looks like it's been
91.
brushed with a toffee apple. That's the only way I can explain it, really.
So that's why the Wasp wanted to be there.
Yeah, all the sugar.
170 left for Rydz. He
Wouldn't
hit
put it past him.
a really good one of these
170.
at the World Match Play 3 years ago against Rob Cross. He might get another one to win the set because he's got the first 60. Hasn't got the second one, but he's got time.
98.
72 when he comes back. He is owning this game right now. Won the last set 3-0. He could win this set 3-0 if he takes 72 with Owen
55.
back on 1-3-1.
Callan, you require 72.
Trying to work out how many legs on the spin this is. He's 6, won't it?
He's missed the single 16, but he hasn't
32.
panicked.
Robert, you require
He's just hit another 8,
131.
and he hopes that he'll return. 1-3-1 for Robert is not going to go. So the tide is firmly turning
91.
towards the man in black,
Callan, you require
white,
40.
and gunmetal grey with a hint of Ghostbusters green. Double top for Callan Rydz. Misses it high with the first one. And the second. The third slips out of his hand and hits a 1. That's 3-set darts
Robert, you
missed.
require 40.
Rydz actually, fair play to him, saying to the crowd, come on now, stop. 7 double. When you think where his doubles were, Nico, they're down at 31% now, Robert Owen.
He hasn't hit many doubles well, since the crowd got involved. 32 left for Rydz after the single 7 is found. Finds it. He's won set 5. The tide has turned. This is not going to be one of those performances that Rydz will think is the best of his career, but boy, has he dug deep. And sometimes it does pay to be from the host nation.
Yeah, that was a real tired looking set from both. Only an 86-71 for Cal, an 85-82 for Robert Owen. And they're both feeling it. It's hot out there. It's been a busy couple of days for both of them, and they'll relish that day off tomorrow.
I will pay full credit to Stack Attack because he could have easily melted on this stage and wilted mentally, and he could have given it back at the crowd because he is feisty. He's very feisty.
96.
But he's remained focused after 5 sets because he knows he's not beaten yet.
Oh, he's not out of this. Not by a long shot. 85 takes him down to 176 on the Rydz throw. Rydz leads 3 sets to 2. Leg 1 from 240. Finds a treble. Oh, squeezes one in. Not sure how he even got there, Nico.
I've got no idea. Don't ask me. I'm supposed to be an expert and I don't know. 100 left for Rydz.
Might have to get someone in that understands geometry, aerodynamics, ballistics.
Understand 100 with a 20 hit. He's thinking about staying on the 60 or going for 2 tops. He was in 2 minds and he was caught in the middle.
And that's where the dart
84.
was.
84 left for Owen to take the first leg of the 6th set. Treble 20 found, double 12. That's more like it. All he's doing is looking towards his family. He's not inflaming the situation, which, take it from personal experience, is something you do not want to do.
Oh. Been there, we both tried that.
Tried it, failed, moved on, failed again. 4-4-1 Owen after 3 darts, second leg of set 6. This could be the set that sees Callan Rydz into the quarterfinals for the 2nd time in his career and a 2nd time in 3 years.
Yeah, you just don't want to get embroiled. It's going to take so much out of you. A 7th set could be the difference between being recovered for New Year's Day or still feeling whacked.
I think the most famous day off in PDC history is when Rob Cross won on this day 7 years ago against Michael van Gerwen in 11 sets, and then he had New Year's Eve off before playing Taylor in the final. If he didn't have that day off, I don't think he wins that final.
Agreed.
140.
Taylor himself averaged, was he 104, 105?
Yeah, Rob Cross.
Wasn't like Rob Cross turned up and it was a poor version of Philip Douglas.
Rydz on 128, but Owen is at the hockey with a 1-0 lead and 1-4-1. And double 12 for another big finish. Just underneath the double 12. So 12 left with Rydz on 128. This is to equalise in set 6. Needs a 60, doesn't get it, so the shot is off.
Still can't hit a ball to leave tops. Hit a 25, double 6 for 2-0.
Just double checking with Charlie Kostafy, the referee, that he's got 12 left. Nothing wrong with that, that's perfectly within the rules. And he has found double 6 with the second dart. It's 2-0 stack attack. Are we going to go the distance for the second time today? My word, it's like Northumberland against the world this afternoon. But that's Rydz with another max, his 9th. That's 13 in the game.
23 in the tournament.
These players are obsessed with maximums and raising money for charity. Keep it going, lads.
Well, on his own, he's raised 23,000.
99.
I think if Rydz had hit a 9-darter there to win leg 3 of the 6th set, that would have been possibly the worst time to get a 9-darter.
What he wants to do, Nico, is get it back to 2-all in the set and then hit one.
9-darter at the end of a set, end of a match. That's when you want to hit one. But he's got 180s. A plenty in this leg. He's got 2. 42 after 9. And he will win the match if he wins this leg and the next 2.
Yeah.
81. Callan, you require 42.
Well, he won a leg like this on the Robert Owen throw. Double 16 for an 11-darter.
Didn't even matter there was a dart in the way of double 16. That's a 12-darter hit with ease. 2-1 Owen in set 6. If he wins this leg, we've got a final set decider again. But if Rydz breaks, he will be the favourite to win the match in this 6th set. Here he goes, top of the 60. Can't get it in. Again until dart 3.
Well, that was like a reverse up and under. Treble 20's found with dart 2 a ton. Owen down to 2-6-1. 3-2 to Rydz in sets. 2-1 to Robert Owen in legs. But again,
58.
Coming up dry, and he should have gone for 18s on the last dart.
Great first start from Robert from 2-6-1. He scores a
We're going all
miraculous
the way.
miraculous
Yeah.
140 that.
We're going all the way.
I didn't know your name was Jose. All the way Jose.
57.
Well, I think Rydz is starting to understand it's going to be all the way now. He's going to have to win this one potentially a different way. Owen on 1-2-1. Crushes
81.
it. Leaves tops with 81. And you know how good he's been on tops. Just don't do
60.
anything silly here, Robert. And you will be
40.
in set number 7. And it will be for the first time in his World Championship career, which is where we're going to go. It was 2-0 Owen. It was 3-2 Rydz. And now it's one set to decide who plays New Year's Day and who doesn't.
Incredibly, that was the second best set from Robert Owen, a 97.47. 7.47, maybe he's thinking about
60.
winning the title and jetting off. Yeah, 97.47. His only higher one was that set 2 where he averaged 108.04.
Well, these two don't have to go too far to get to the beach. If you're in Bedlington, I think it's about 2 or 3 miles to get to Camas. As far as Bridgend is concerned, just go down towards Porthcawl. Better from Rydz at the start of this set. A max. His 11th. Average of 98.04 to this point. On 2-3-6 after 6. And attacking the Robert Owen throw. But he hits back with a 140 to leave 161. First to the finish. But Rydz is about to join him on 140.
Well, he's had 7 fewer 180s than Rydz, but he's had 8 more 140s to counter.
Has he got a 161? Check out! Misses the ball to take the first leg of the final set in 12 darts. Rydz needs 140 for that 12. He's not going to take that. This really has been an up and down leg filled with quality.
Yeah, it's gone back and forth.
Single 9 for double 8 for stack attack. Misses double 8 left. Gets close, but not close enough. He thought it was in, but it isn't. And Rydz, with 80 points, would break Owen right here and get the crowd back on side. 2 single 20s found, but the second dart is awkward. Has to move for tops.
40.
It's over the bar.
Yeah, couldn't really see anything of that. He moved right and looked horrible.
This is a good marker for Owen, just on the outside of 8. He hasn't got the marker anymore. Double 4. He's missed 5 darts at the outer ring in this leg. Rydz back on tops.
4, the all-important breaker throw. Tops he needs. Over the top, way over. Always. Never in doubt, Nico. 17 dart breaker throw. How has he got away with that? What was that? How many darts at a double did he have there? 5?
6. 1 at the bull for the 161.
Yes.
He had numerous darts at double 8 and 1 at double 4 and didn't hit any of them. But the look on Rydz's face at the end of leg 1 of the final set, it reminds me of a Geordie word that they use for lucky. He felt a bit jammy. Maximum start from Owen.
85.
And Rydz, on his own throw, is on 320 after 6. He's already lost the darts. And Rob Owen's now got the crowd on side for a different reason. Because he's on a 9-darter. Paris the thought, you hear your guts because you're from a different country and you're representing Wales, but now everybody wants him to win.
Yeah, they'll take Paddy Power's money. Oh, right on the top wire.
Well done, Robert. That's the way to try and get them on side. He's left himself 42 after 9 darts, after being broken. And Rydz, all he can do is get to a finish of 130 with a great 105.
10 for double 16, sticking with this side of the board, double 8. Ooh, left it late. That is a 12-dart break back.
Third leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
Astonishing game.
A nod of acknowledgement and appreciation from Callan Rydz. We have parity, 3-3, 1-1.
Do you know what? I feel like I'm back in the 90s again.
100.
I've already had 1-4-3 involving a Geordie. It's like Newcastle-Liverpool all over again, because the next game's 4-3 involving a Geordie again.
81.
How much can the North East Massive take? How much can Wales take after last night's all-Welsh clash between Clayton and Gezi Price?
85.
And that came after Robert Owen won his match against Ricky Evans.
Well, it's Newcastle, Man United, isn't it? That's next.
125.
We'll get onto that later. That's live on talkSPORT later on. Kick off at 8 p.m. I would say don't miss it, but you've also got the darts to listen to, so
That's why you need the app.
find a way to listen to both if you can. 176 Owen here. Is he going to be
96.
1 leg away from the quarterfinals? He's got 6 darts to get to that point. Small 20 followed by another. Dart 3. Still trouble, but it was so close.
Yeah, that's a let-off. Rydz 199, treble 19 found, and another. He'll stay there, gets them all. Wowzers. What's the odds on this going in? I fancy him to get it. Treble 19's found. Single 19's found, tops.
Oh, it's just over the top.
It took some of the coating off of the wire, that's how close it was.
Well, now Rydz gets his just desserts. Double 14. Hit with 1 shot. He's keeping his cool. In the past, Callan Rydz is like a firework next to a fire. You're just waiting for him to go off. But right now, he's like a statue that is puffing his cheeks out. He's keeping everything under control. And now, he's 1 leg away from victory.
Callan Rydz 2.0.
45.
Well, that is the most incredible 45. 3 treble 5s next to the wire that separates the 5 from the 60.
Miraculously, if Rydz wins this leg, he will win in the same fashion as Chris Dobey, winning 3-1 in the last set. And there's a 180 to make up for the 3 treble 5s.
And the first bit of emotion from Callan Rydz, a clench of the fist and a come on, but this ain't done with yet.
140. 40.
Maybe like Bachman Turner overdrive. That's one for you, Dance. You ain't seen nothing yet. And there's another treble 5 for Rydz. But a great last start to score 80 till he 196 on the throw. This is his best opportunity to get this done without a tie-break situation. And Owen is not going to leave a finish from 261, but he gets close.
Yeah, he's down to 176. It's 3-3 in sets. Rydz 2-1 in front. Needs this leg for a place in the quarters. He's on 196. He'd love another max. There's a 60. There's another.
But another 5. Just a sign of tension when you drag them a little bit left.
Yep.
It's 71 for the match for Rydz for a second quarter final in 3 years. And if he doesn't hit it, Owen is sitting on tops.
After 12 darts.
71 for the quarterfinals for Rydz. Double top with 1.
51.
Match start missed just underneath. And the Rydz contingent can't watch as Owen goes for tops. He misses it low. Double 10. Way wide.
20.
Not once but twice. And now the thumb comes up.
And that's why, listen, everyone knows my opinion on it.
20.
Double 10 for Bedlington's Callan Rydz to be in New Year's Day darts. He's there for a second time. Rydz is through to play on New Year's Day. He's apologetic to his opponents, who knows he's done so much heroic stuff in this tournament. But his road has a roadblock, and his name is Rydz. Callan gets rid of Robert Owen. But that really doesn't tell the story. We've had 7 sets in this match. We've had 7 sets in the previous one. And this is just the precursor to what could be the loudest match of the entire tournament on the 30th of December as England go up against Germany with Pikachu against the ass. Robert Owen leaves the stage right now. He knows he had a huge opportunity there to make the quarterfinals. However, I think he leaves with a lot of class and a lot of heart from this tournament. He will go into the top 60 in the world and be a professional next year. But Rydz survives a brilliant match.
Yeah, and he has. That is exactly what he's done. He's survived because, you know, in the grand scheme of things, he was outplayed and outmaneuvered. The showy bits all went to Rydz. The 180s, he hit twice as many. But the 140 column, 9 more in favour of Robert Owen, and he had 6 more darts at a double in that entire match. But listen, it was a cracker, only marred by some, you know, that typical stuff we get when we get anybody against England. But I suppose it's the same when we go to Belgium or Germany or Scotland or Wales. So, but it's not nice because they, without question, affected his ability to hit a double there.
Especially towards the end on tops, and tends to save it. If it had gone 2 legs all, it would have been a tie-break situation, and obviously Owen and Rydz would have to win by 2 clear legs at that point. If it goes to 5, sudden death leg. If it goes to that, I'm sure the crowd would have been even more on Callan's side. But we didn't need it in the end. Rydz does win by 4 sets to 3. As far as talkSPORT Toon Day is concerned, it's 2 down and 2 to go, because Ryan Joyce is playing a certain Luke Littler later on tonight. Newcastle United are playing against Manchester United at Old Trafford later on talkSPORT. If you're listening to that, we hope you enjoy it. But if you're staying with the darts right now, we've got more to come, because the ever present at the minute Nathan Aspinall, very, very popular and has one of the best walk-ons in the sport. This place is about to go bananas and very, very tribal. If that's your kind of thing, which I'm sure it is, Darts on the Radio continues on talkSPORT 2 after this break. But this one goes to Callan Rydz. He's beaten Robert Owen by 4 sets to 3.